Okay, appreciate everybody being here to work on the next game coming up, the Texans game on Sunday. Be at home, and we're going to look at all the things we need to do to be the best we can be in that game. And there's a lot of factors, a lot of things we're dealing with, for sure, like a lot of teams are, I'm sure. But that'll be our opportunity to get going and get our momentum going a little bit. And that's a really good team. I've just been watching them on tape. The Texans defense is playing at a high level. Very aggressive, very fast, very well coached. A lot of good players, a lot of good pass rushers, good coverage guys, playing good football. Then offensively, obviously, a young quarterback, working to find their way in a little bit, running the ball, good backs, trying to play complementary football with their defense. So that's what we're looking at right now. What questions do you have?
John, specifically with Lamar's injury, do you have any update with that? And do you expect him to practice Wednesday? Do you expect him to play on Sunday?
Yeah, we've got a pretty good feel on all the injuries, with the different guys right now where we're at. Really not commenting on those things today. We'll comment on them later in the week a little bit more. I can give you information on Broderick and Nnamdi. Nnamdi's going to be out for the year. That's going to be a year-long IR. Brody will not be. It'll be the 4-week IR.
John, with Matabike, obviously it's a neck, and there's a lot of concern with that. What's his long-term prognosis before? Are you guys confident he'll be able to return next year? Is his career in jeopardy? What can you share?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's like, and just if I'm trying to explain it in the best way I can in terms of what I'm allowed to tell you. Like a lot of that is things that he needs to address with you guys, in his time. So I really can't speak for him, wouldn't want to. Those are questions that would be best answered by him going forward, and he may be still getting some information on that as well, but I'll leave that for him to answer.
John, obviously you have so many injuries, I'm sure it's hard to sort of directly evaluate, especially your defense where you lost, 3 or 4 starters yesterday in the course of the game. That being said, this is the second year where that side of the ball started out pretty slow. Obviously, there's competition, there's the injuries. How much confidence do you have in Zach will work to be the one to turn the defense around?
Yeah, I have confidence in all of our guys, including Zach, our players, our coaches. I watch our guys every day. I watch how they work. I watch how well they coach. I'm in meetings. I watch the meetings. I know the schemes that we're running. I know the soundness of what we're doing. I understand who's, what we're up against, from week to week and play to play. Even in this game, this is a challenging game against, good offense. They were healthy. They got their guys back. And complementary football-wise, defense was put in some tough spots, field position-wise for sure. And I think that had something to do with it. We got some stops early in the red zone with some short fields, and then we didn't play as well in the red zone. They made a couple plays in there that they ended up getting touchdowns on. So, that's what you do. You believe in your people, and we have really good people and good players. I thought a lot of the young guys stepped up. They got their opportunities that had never played before, and went out there in that environment and played well. You look at the individual performances, there's a lot of really good things there. And the things that, when I watched the tape, I felt better watching the tape. I can tell you that, a lot better watching the tape than I did standing on the sideline watching the game. I felt like there was a lot of really good play going on, and I think the things that were issues were very definable, and also sometimes a result of some real tight plays being made by them, in some situations. So those are plays that we just got to start making, get some turnovers, knock some balls loose, get some TFLs, create some things. We were a step from getting a couple sacks at times. I thought Pat did a good job of getting the ball out a few times, things like that. So, we're not too far away on defense. I really feel confident that we're going to play really good defense this year. I really am, and I know the fans hear that, and I hope they have a little bit of confidence in us that we've been down this road before a little bit. We do need to get healthy for sure. That's an important part of it as well. But also play with the guys that we've gotten. Let's go play some good defense.
Coach, with Lamar, there was speculation, I guess, yesterday because you had talked about maybe he might go back into the game if it were closer. there was no way he was going to go back into the game. Was that the case? Or if the game was closer, would he have gone back?
No, that was the case. There was no way he was going to go back in the game. The injury precluded it, as during the game, you really just, you're playing the next series as a coach, but there was no way he could go back in the game. I know Lamar, the way I know Lamar, if he could have gone in the game, he would have been in the game. That's how he is. So, but I can assure you that he would not have been able to go back in the game under any circumstance.
John, what happened on the situation where you ended up getting 2 delayed games in a span of 3 plays? What broke down there?
Yeah, we were trying to check plays. One time a run play to another run play, and the next time it was trying to get a signal to get a pass route changed, and we just didn't handle the clock management well. We usually do a really good job of that. That's something I've had so many of those times over the years, especially really the last 7 years, where I'm watching the play clock, and you get nervous about it. But we've gotten the playoff numerous times. Even in that game we did where it runs down close, we always have a pretty good handle on that. But those 2 times we didn't. Those were aberrations for us. And I thought we would get them off in both of those occasions. With the communication we had, and we just didn't get them off. That was a really tough series for us. I mean, the fact that we got knocked back on both those 2 plays, that really hurt us.
John, it seems like you guys' style of play hasn't been up to your usual standard to this point. Do you feel like your team has matched the physicality that you like to play with, and do you feel like they're being out physical, especially in some of these losses to start with?
Yeah, I'm not really too much into the generalities, just general terms like that. I think there's a lot more to it than that. Our guys are playing hard. We're playing fast. We're playing with physicality. We're not executing particularly well in circumstances. I mean, you just go back and break the game down. Offensively in the first half, those two, the second, third, and fourth series were the series that kind of dictated the game for us. It put our defense in a couple tough spots, and those are situations where, we operate better, we score points, and it's a completely different game. I mean, the fact that what happened with the interception, I thought the linebacker made a nice play, but it wasn't a good play for us. It wasn't a good play call. It wasn't a play where we put our guys in the right position in that situation. I'm not happy with it at all. None of us are. They ran a double backer kind of blitz inside where they were right in Lamar's face, and we had downfield routes with no checkdowns, and we were chipping our way out trying to take care of the edges, and they run an inside blitz, and it's not picked up. It's not going to be picked up, and Lamar throws it, and it's a tough throw, and the guy makes a nice play. I mean, the guy made a great play. I give him credit. Leo made a nice play, but that kills your drive when you're moving the ball right down the field. So no, I don't like that play call at all, or the result of that. And then we have the series where we have the 2 delay games. I mean, that's what knocked us back. And then you're back there, really 2nd and 10, and you make another type of a situation where you invite a blitz, and now you got the penalty and Lamar backing up. I mean, that was bad series for us. I mean, we just got to look at it honestly as a coaching staff and just say that was not good, and we put ourselves in that situation. Then the next one was a tip ball, a screen they defended, then a tip ball. Next thing you know, you're 3rd and 10, and you're off the field there. That was a more normal one. But those 3 series, I think, dictated the course of the game, really, against a good offense, because we were going to play aggressively. We're going to go for it. And then later, you're going to be aggressive. You're going to go for it. You go for it, and you don't have a good plan. You just don't. You don't have a good plan, and we didn't do a good job at all. We all know it. We all agree with it. We came up short. We didn't put our players in the position we needed to put them in to execute and convert on 3rd and short and 4th and short. In the first half and throughout the course of the game, and those are just like turnovers. It's no different than turnovers because you put your defense on a short field. So we just got to own all that, understand it. That was bad ball, and it can be fixed, and we got to fix it going forward. That's how I see it from a football standpoint.
John, you just answered a lot of this, but I mean, when you look back at your work against their blitzes in general, I mean, you knew that was coming from them. Did you feel it was a matter of the preparation was off? Did you feel it was a matter of the adjustments were off as it was happening? I mean, what?
Yeah, I don't think our approach was good. I think we didn't stick to the plan that we had. We had an idea how we wanted to approach their defense, and we didn't stick to it, you know, and I'm not happy about it. Neither's anybody. None of our coaches are happy about it, especially, I'm talking about the coaches right now, you know, that was us, you know, so it was not a good job.
John, you mentioned the short yardage plays where it didn't work. How much are you missing Patrick Ricard in these situations?
I haven't thought about that, you know. I can't measure that, you know. I think Zaire did a good job, though. I can answer that question for you. I mean, I watched him. He blocked well in those plays. You know, he did a solid, good job. I'd say a real good job. You know, he's only in there for 9 plays, but I thought he blocked well. So I don't think that's really the issue of it. I think it's much. I mean, it's much deeper than that. It's you know, I mean, if you're saying that we didn't run the ball because we didn't have Pat Ricard, the answer is that's not why. You know, yeah, we should have been running the ball, a number of those, or have some more creative passes up than just drop back passes in those situations.
John, just going back on the blitz, when you said, you know, you guys had a plan, didn't stick to it, was that something the Chiefs had done to you that caused you not to stick to it, or was it a combination of things?
No, I'd put it on us. It's on us. You know, we got to learn from it. We got to learn from it. We got to be better.
John, just back to Namdi for a second. I mean, losing a player of that magnitude obviously elevated Brent, brought in Josh last week. But you know, is this a case where you guys have to look and talk with Eric about, you know, other personnel solutions or other options that might address that fully?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always something that would be on the table for sure.
John, I know the other day we had asked about the pre-snap adjustments. How has that been? Do you feel like that has taken a step back in terms of the adjustments at the line offensively? I know it was a topic of discussion last week with Rosengarten saying something along those lines, and it seems like there's a disconnect in terms of what you guys are seeing pre-snap with the pressure coming and not getting in the right place. Do you feel like the pre-snap adjustments have been where you'd like them to be?
Well, I don't think any of it's where I'd like it to be. You know, we don't have a rhythm on offense right now. I think we've got to, you know, it's going to, you know, it's just going forward. The challenge is to get a feel for, you know, what we want to do and how we want to do it. We got to regain a rhythm, you know, and yeah, it's execution at times. It's choosing what we're going to do in certain situations. I don't know if it's so much about pre-snap adjustments, so to speak. That's kind of a broad way to state it. But, you know, there's going to be times you want to be at the line of scrimmage and you want to be able to get into the right kind of play, for sure. That's part of an offense, and everybody does it. We do it well. We had some really good plays doing that during the course of the game and the course of the last few weeks. So that's going to be part of our plan, for sure. I mean, that's important to be able to do that.
Point with Derek, only had 4 carries in the first half yesterday, I think, after the game. You talked about this last night, just, you know, some of that's dictated 2-minute, et cetera. Is that an area that, you know, you guys need to have more of an emphasis on and execution on?
Yeah, I mean, we need more plays on offense. I mean, we've been in the 50 play range, you know, and that's the biggest thing. And you need more plays. You need more consistency, and definitely, I mean, running the ball is a big part of our plan in that game, and we didn't do it. You know, we just didn't do it. So part of it's the three series. You know, we got into some drop back stuff there and got knocked off the field. And we had the 2 penalties that Bo's talking about, and the next thing you know, then we throw a couple screens. We hit some screens, but we didn't execute on those screens. And next thing you know, there's a 3 and out, more of a legitimate 3 and out, and then you don't have an opportunity to run the ball like you want to. But yeah, running the ball with Derek, running the ball with Justice, that was good too, you know, and breaking some tendencies there with that. We like that too. So those are all things that have got to come together in a way that just is cohesive, and you start building a little rhythm on offense. I mean, we've scored some points, but this game, I think, exposed us in terms of not doing a good job with some of those things.
You just mentioned the tendencies with Justice coming on the field. We know what he does as a blitz pickup, protection, all that, and we know what Derek does as a rusher. Has that been a concern when you're just kind of looking at this 4 games in, that to not be too predictable, or to, you know, just not necessarily be in a place where you're putting enough stress on the defense?
Well, we do that. I mean, I feel like, you know, that's something that we take into account, because, you know, you're going to do what players do well. That's important. But you're also going to change it up so it's not just predictable. I mean, Derek was in there for numerous passes, and he had 2 screens thrown to him, and then Justice was in there for the one big run, and I like to see him in there. I like him with the ball in his hands, running the ball. So, you never want to be 100%. We always, on defense, we kind of consider 80% to be a true tendency on something. If it gets under that too much, then you really can't count on it because it can be something different more often. And we want to make sure that we keep people guessing and keep it moving on people. So that's one of the things that we do take into account.
When you take Derek off the field, I mean, does that sort of telegraph that you're not going to be running the football? I mean,
Well, that's just what I'm saying. No, it shouldn't. I mean, you're going to run the ball with Derek off the field too, and I think you got to run some of the same runs that you would run with Derek. You run some of the power runs, run the wide zone play we ran. That was the touchdown run. You don't want to telegraph that. It's going to be, and it's also situationally because a lot of time it's third down, it's passing downs. Those are situations where people know Justice comes in there, so you're already passing the ball, so that mitigates the tendency just a little bit. Then he runs screens and he runs draws and things like that too. So some of it's down in distance.
It was a tough spot yesterday for Cooper Rush to get thrown in when he did, but what did you like about him yesterday? And if he is forced to play this week, what was it that you liked about him that had you bring him in this year?
Yeah, I mean, Cooper, you've seen him play, so everybody kind of knows what his game is, and he can play that game, and that game's part of what we do. So if he's out there, it'll be geared toward him, and then the guys around him. I mean, we've got a good group around him. We've got a lot of playmakers around him if he's playing, and same thing for Tyler Huntley if he's playing. We got guys around him too, and you go as a team and you go compete and battle and get after it and find ways to win games. We can win. We have a really good team, and we can win games with our guys, the guys that we have that have to step up. Everybody gets injuries in the course of the season, and it's who deals with them the best. So any of our players are not in, the next guy steps up, and we plan to go win the football game. I mean, that's it. I wouldn't have to tell the guys that. It's not something I got to talk to them about. That's what we do. And guys relish their opportunity when that time comes, just like the guys did in this last game. And they build off of that. And it's our job to put them in the best position to be successful as coaches. That's our job. That's what we're supposed to do. And that's what we're required to do, and that's what we owe it to the team and to the fans and everybody to do.
John, when you have sort of a pile up of some soft tissue injuries like Mark hamstring, broke Juan's hamstring, Marlon's calf, is there a look at strength and training and conditioning side of something that may have led to that, or preventative, or is there sort of evaluation?
Yeah, I mean there is. We do look at it, and those are kind of ongoing right now. I know that our guys' injuries just happened. These particular ones, we haven't had many soft tissue injuries, so it's a little surprising. So they'll look at that and they'll see what they can come up with along those lines. I mean, it happens around the league a lot. I'm telling you, man, it's a violent, fast game out there. And Roquan was accelerating to go cover the pass to Kels, and what a throw and catch, and he got him down, and that's when it happened. And he was at 95% of his speed, his full speed when it happened, and I'm sure he extended to make the tackles. I assume that's when it happened. So that's part of it too. Just the violent nature of the game and the exertion that these guys put in, from play to play over the course of a game is pretty incredible.
Was it the last play that he was injured, or did he tell you it was maybe?
I think it was more of a, I don't know. I think I do know kind of, but I don't know for sure because you can't know for sure. It's probably a little more kind of added up a little bit maybe in there, maybe is what I was told, but I can't say. I don't know enough to be able to say in any kind of accurate way.
You've dealt with every aspect of what you're going through right now before in some form, whether it's a disappointing start or a decisive loss or, raft of injuries, whatever it is. Do you feel the need to deliver any kind of overall message to the team this week, like kind of a sky isn't falling message, or?
Yeah, I mean, I think, we have been down these roads, and we understand. I mean, you guys have been down these roads too. Like, you guys have covered us, so a lot of these times we've been through a lot of this kind of sort of together. The fans have been down these roads too, so everybody kind of in their role. You come to understand that this is how it works. In professional sports, especially in football, it's a tough league, and there's going to be these challenges, and that's why it's so meaningful when you can overcome them and start, come through the other side and have success, or take it all the way to the end and go deep in the playoffs or win the Super Bowl. I mean, that's why it's just such an amazing thing, and I think why it's such a compelling environment to be a part of. So you're in the thick of it right now. So yeah, I mean, there'll be messages. I'll be talking to the guys will be talking. There'll be things that we've got to kind of share an understanding about. And you know, it's going to be pretty straightforward, and let's go win the football game. Let's do what we got to do to win a football game. And within that, what is it going to take? You know, that's what the message will be surrounded. It'll be a very practical type message.
Okay.
All right, thanks.